Hey.
No, he's in. He's somewhere in the Caribbean. Have you noticed the markets around these days?
And then when we leave, what on it?
Oh, yes, y'all's not gonna be here enough.
Yeah, I didn't have time to check attention time, so I don't. Good, thank goodness. Did you hear that? They're moving dirt.
Oh,
Down there.
yeah.
Well, I.
So,
Long time of year to start that. Maybe because they have this, maybe they haven't seen the video.
And I had to write a term report on the planning board. Okay. Yeah. Today.
See, all this keeps you really young.
Yes, it does. Because then the donor has come along and contacted me and said, you know, she donated to the purchase of the mountain. But she also was a friend and associate of Frank Young. And so she wrote to me and she said she would like to sponsor the actual doing of the you know, the edge of town. That's not gonna help. Okay, we should start with a plan. I'm gonna be done with my son's project.
Actually, last time I called.
how are you? Woo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so I had about four things. Yes, it does. Outside of the fact that I also corrected up the.
Was there any paperwork for that?
There's a couple things we have to sign, yeah. Well, at the end, because we gotta do the minutes from last time too, so. Okay.
Are you doing? See ya. See you. See you.
Oh, right, I believe you not give me a people. So if somebody drives down that road, don't instantly say I'll take care of it. There's nobody giving me the so. And I have to use my cell phone right in order to get down the street too.
It's closing, right? And the kind of being the Bears job.
No, no one wanted anyway, so don't worry about it. We have to one week.
Yeah, I just got a bill from Excel for 35,000. Like, fix. I never authorized that. What is this? I never said. I would have been okay with the dark area.
No, I'm fine with the dark area. I'm very fine. Susan may get, there's no street light anymore in front of my house.
Oh, that's the one I wanted to shoot out, because it shines right into my living room. I guess I didn't have
To
to.
tell you the truth, many years ago, I did hire one of my kids
And see, it was too bright. It's really high.
The one behind my house, I'd like to do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a big light on the front of your house these days.
I can't figure out how to work it.
It's huge, it's bright.
Oh, it's above and it
Yeah.
comes down the street. Yeah. When we first moved in, I thought, we gotta take that down for sure. But now I've gotten used to it. It really does illuminate way out there.
It's
But it
sure-
doesn't hit anybody else's houses.
Yes, but it's. a big
So,
one, and I-
it is?
It's not a
Let me
dark
tell you, when
sky.
that bear came around.
The bear doesn't-
No, it's definitely not, but I didn't put it there.
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay,
Roll call.
Joan Eaton, Sean Platt,
Here.
Sydney Neely,
here.
Betsy Blakesley, Mark Reynolds, Carl Hamilton, Frank Answer.
Here. All right, how about approval of agenda? Anybody have any additions?
Can we do one other introduction before we? go?
Sure, absolutely.
So I want to introduce everyone to Kezia Johnson Hart.
Kezia Hart.
Kezia Hart, okay. She is our new assistant town
Oh, say
administrator.
it isn't true.
I know it's been long awaiting, but I present her to you, and she will be your staff support now. So we finally got a full-time person to help with DRC and many other things, but one of her roles will be to be your staff support. Her and I will be working together to ramp her up, so we'll send you to help her and, and then throw vegetables.
Yes.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Excited to work with you.
Awesome.
Anything else? Somebody make a motion to approve the agenda?
There's just two items,
No,
right?
no.
Oh.
Is there just two items? I just wanna make sure I got the right agenda.
Yeah,
Because there were like three different emails.
Mark, I do want us to talk about Keisha's first project for us,
Okay,
which is a tracking sheet.
Okay.
Okay?
all right, I'll put you in charge of that. All right. How about approval of the amended agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve with the additions.
Okay, second,
Second,
all those in favor say aye.
I,
Okay.
I guess I'll have to do it. Never mind.
Members of the audience will have 5 minutes to present any matter of concern to the commission. No official action will be taken at this time. Anybody here? Everybody's on the agenda? Okay, peace out. All right, new old business, Tracy Toria, 11 Main Street, new fence.
replacement fence, is it not?
I
On the way, look at this.
don't have any pictures.
It looks like it's just moving back to the property line.
Right, before it was sitting off the property line, and now she wants to move it back to her property line.
That's
Right.
what I understand.
I'm not sure it's even a different fence, is it?
I think she's replacing it with the
Okay.
same fence
All
there.
right, it is the
From what I
fence at
read.
the rear of her property, and it, is a,
It's a 6-footer.
yeah. Yes. But that, book 2, page 52.
I had a question looking
She's
at the,
calling me right now, Tracy Troya.
Okay.
Okay.
looking at the file, so she's addressing the fence. There's a portion on the north side that is on the neighbor's
But I don't know what that is.
property.
But that's what she
Should
is
she
saying.
address that?
She is, there was some place that she talked about the fact that there was an easement to put it there. Where was that?
I saw it on something.
Because,
According to this, she re-recorded the land survey and recorded the easement.
All right, you wanna just hang on and I'll let you know if they have questions?
yes. we
She
do
can't
have-
Zoom.
We do.
All right, all right. All right, all right, you're on.
Somebody
Call
has,
into a Zoom if she wants to.
She doesn't have access to Zoom right now.
Just call.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Tracy, it appears on your plot plan that you are, on your a little bit on your neighbor's property, is that the easement?
No, the neighbor is on my property, like 2 feet on the south end and approximately 4 feet on the north end. And so the easement is the fence line that is on my property, and I would like to extend it to my property line.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, that's the back of the property, it sounds like.
So there's an existing fence, which is on my property. Out on my property line, I'd like to extend it back out. That's 2 feet on the south side, 4 feet on the north side. To the existing property line, to the recorded property line, per survey.
Okay, I also think that our job is what this fence looks like.
So the fence would be replaced with the, as you see in the photo, it would be replaced with the 6-inch, 3-inch, 6-inch wood slats, 6 feet on the reverse side. So it would be replaced with the same existing material, only new versus reusing it.
Okay, so we're not worried about where it is.
And that if it, you know, if it,
No, I mean, it's falling within our property lines, so there's no land use issue.
okay,
Okay,
and that's not our,
is that good enough?
Yeah, but it's the north side. The plat shows that her fence goes on to the neighbors on the north side.
that is his property, not ours.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Okay,
And she's not asking anything about that side.
No, she's not asking anything about that
Correct,
side at
yeah.
all.
Because it's not a land use issue for what she's doing, I'm not,
okay,
not having issues with it.
okay. All right, so we're just here to talk about materials and,
Yeah, page 52, book 1, book 2, page 52. Is where the fences,
hold on one second.
fences start on page 51, but the ones that applies to her. It was on page 52, E2 solid stockade fences, in front yards are inappropriate, they may be considered in backyards and along alleys.
Yeah, so it's in the backyard, not front of the house.
Right,
So it's my understanding of maybe 6 feet in height.
right.
we're, doing the guidelines right now, so we'll have her in a sec here. Okay, is that it?
Yeah, well, the fence materials D should be wood, iron, wire, stone, or plants, and this is wood.
Okay.
It would be wood, yes.
All right, anybody have any other questions or any other extra guidelines you want to list? If not, how about a motion?
Make a motion to approve the application?
And so the position of the current fence now
Hold on
is
just a
something that is a
second.
concern of yours.
Tracy,
or-
Tracy,
Tracy, we're okay. We're
we're
gonna
in the
vote
middle of
right
a
now.
motion.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, second,
I'll say that.
any public comment? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, you're done, Bill.
Thank you.
She always tries to last. Okay. Stephen Sarah.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us what you're doing, how you're doing, introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Steve Meehan. This is Brendan Mueller. He's going to be the builder.
Okay.
This is our third time here. So,
Okay.
so I think, I don't know if you remember, we first came, we were going to try to build an A-frame. And then we got some guidance that we weren't going to go down that path. So we came back into preliminary review. You liked the direction that the property was headed. You gave us some feedback.
Okay.
We took that feedback and incorporated it into a lot of the planning. that you should have all the documentation for. And we're hopeful today to get final COA for building a single-family home.
We don't have any.
You don't have the backup. I have a PDF.
Wait a second, I will share.
Is there a backup?
No, that's mine.
Here, you wanna take mine?
If I could, yeah, I need it, just so I know.
I mean, you,
What's that about now?
oh, and this is another part too.
Thank you for submitting the additional materials that we asked for in
Absolutely.
the landscape
Sure
and
thing.
drainage, design.
That's great.
Because given the slope
Yeah.
of the lot, that becomes a requirement when you have that kind of slope.
That's great. Good. And I don't know if you'd like me to review I don't know if you would like me to review the feedback that we got from the last meeting and talk about the changes that we made to the plan or? Okay,
Sounds good.
so I think the first item was ensuring that the driveway wasn't concrete. So we do have that in the landscaping plan to show a gravel driveway. The door, there was a maximum of a 7 foot. So our door, the front door is actually 7 feet, 0 inches. So it's right there. The roof pitches, there were some concerns around the roof being too short, too shallow. So we increased the roof pitches. The main roof is actually an 812. And then, the smaller roofs are about 612. So you'll see that incorporated there. That actually had to adjust the height of it, of the house, just given the changes that we made there. I think the main feedback that we got was the front porch needed to be more prominent in the front of the house and have the garage set back more. So we did that. So we made it more prominent and actually adjusted the architecture. And you'll see that actually in the plan as well. So I think the other thing was I know the double garage door was a concern, but we didn't have a lot of leeway in terms of the width of the property, because we have 10 feet setbacks, on each side. We only have an extra foot on each side that we're working with, given, the narrow lot size that we're working with. So I know that was a concern, and I think we talked about that and said that could be acceptable.
Is the door type on elevation accurate?
It is, yeah.
Then that looks fine.
Okay. And then I think the landscaping plan, we put that in as well. So, we focused on more of, just the major items that we would construct, the fence on the side of the house, and some of the stone and patio work in the back. So
Any retaining walls?
no retaining walls.
What's the little concrete pad on the side of the driveway? You got a little 4x4.
Oh, that's an existing, structure that's there. So when we did the site plan, that was just shown there. So
It's existing.
yeah, just existing on the land right now.
Just curious, because
Yeah, we'd be interested too, to maybe see the history of what used to be on the property.
And this property exists in that sort of interesting block in the hillside, which remains zoned multifamily.
Correct,
However, what's being built there
Is a
is
single family.
single family,
correct,
which always puts us in the interesting position of
Correct.
what your varying bulk regs are for one,
That's
it's
right.
not what your varying bulk regs are
Oh,
for
yeah.
the other.
correct.
When we use the guidelines, because it is a single family residence, we use the millsite residential. We
Okay,
don't use the millsite multifamily,
Multifamily.
because obviously you have a whole different scale of buildings, so.
and we made the assumption, the wrong assumption, the first time coming in, that we could build an A-frame, given that we were in the multifamily district, and that was a bad assumption. So, you corrected us, and we kind of revised our plan since, so.
And I understand why the original intent of that zoning
Yeah.
and was what it was, but, and it being sort of one block.
Yeah.
It's hard to,
Yeah,
spend the whole time to do something.
yeah.
And it's almost not reading anymore. Okay, we would be on book 3, design guidelines for Millside Residential, which start on page 7. Well, they start on page 5. So you want me to just go?
Listen, do you have any questions about anything you see on the plans? Guys?
If we're going through the guidelines, we'll get to it. The only one I had is the concrete retaining wall on the side, but we'll get to that when we go through the guidelines.
Yeah, we got a couple maybe, to understand the landscaping better, the questions really help us fulfill
Absolutely.
our role here. Okay, so we're in book 3, we're on page 7. Building mass and size, and we have got a new building should be similar in mass and size to its neighboring structures, and that whole area is developing with larger, we say larger in the historic district, but of similar size.
Sure.
Residential structures. So that's A. A1 indicates it's generally 1.5 or 2 stories. As seen from the street, it is. It is from the rear of it that you get the walkout basement.
Correct.
Also C, new construction should be within 5 feet of the average height of structures within the immediate neighborhood. And even others that have been approved across the street, this fits in that range. And B, it maintains the general shape of structures in the historical district, being a gabled roof structure that faces the street, etc. And B2, where a larger building, well, it's not a larger building, great. That really refers more to buildings that are much larger. So let's go on to page 8, which is building roof form. And this was part of the original discussion. So you have A, simple forms of gable and hip roof. And you have B, the orientation of the major roof element, B1 is in consideration of the neighboring properties. And C, primary roofs have pitches of 812 to 1212, and this one has 812, and as its primary roof. Shed roofs on additions, if there are no additions, but there are other roofs, have pitches from 412 to 1212, and the 612 is within that. So then we go to page 9, relationship to the building orientation. Orient the building parallel to its lot lines, and it is. And B, use of a porch on a residential building is strongly encouraged, and that is done also. So then we flip to the end of the book. The rest of it. Page 74. 74 is the natural resources. And you've given us a landscape plan.
Correct.
Is there anything back there at the moment?
What's shown on the landscape plan is currently back there, so we're not planning on taking down any trees where we can avoid not to take them down, so.
You've got one in your driveway, is that staying?
Let's see. Right on the side of the driveway, where I think we're gonna see if we can keep it.
It's not, doesn't look big.
Yeah, it's a smaller one.
No.
But you do have the bunch that's across the back.
Correct, yep. Those will all stay.
Those will all stay, and what have we got here?
And that's on the border with Frank's house, right next to our neighbor. just a big pine tree, so,
Yeah,
and that's already
yes,
existing.
Nice. Keep it, okay.
Yeah.
So you're really not regrading anything?
No,
Awesome.
yeah,
Okay, I think we should, this is page 74, and it's 1A, protect and enhance existing standards of vegetation. I think we should note that on our certificate, that, the,
That trees are gonna see.
yes, yeah, that trees are going to stay. I don't see on-site hazards.
I think that's interesting in the back part of the property, because, it's supposed to be Tausch Street back there.
Yeah.
And at least, when you look at the plans, but it's, it almost looks like there's a drainage ditch or something in the back there, but we're not planning on touching any of it. So,
No fence or anything?
no,
Cool.
Because essentially, it's got the space of the street.
yeah, yep.
And actually, yeah. All right, page 75, there's 3, it's the site drainage. All right, guys. There is a drainage.
Here's this.
Doesn't look like they're regrading much on the side, it's keeping the same.
We're keeping it all the same.
I'll bring it back to the
That's right.
House Street that's not there.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think our drainage goes anywhere, but it
Okay,
shouldn't.
Yeah,
all right, then we have 3. On page 75, 3A, drainage should not adversely affect adjacent properties. Where does it go when it gets down to Town Street? Yeah, and this structure is not below the roadway. So it's, 3B also. All right, and then we're on to, page 77, residential building orientation, 5A, orient primary entrance of a building towards the street. A1, have a clearly defined primary entrance. A2, the gable end of the structure should face the street. And it's not on a corner lot, so that's all.
Unless you count 12.
What?
Unless you count 12, it's not there either.
because technically it's Griffith and 12, and, if 12th Street does get constructed, it would be on.
But the side looks fine. We work on
It certainly
that.
doesn't appear to be on a corner.
Right.
That's right.
So we go on to the site things, and, page 80 is landscaping, and Brenda's already asked the question about walls.
There's no retaining walls.
But we have A, retain established planting in new projects, and we have, so this is page 81A. And we don't see any, new plantings. We're just trying to save the plants we have,
Correct.
okay? Do we have patios?
We do have one in the back, a patio in the back that wouldn't be seen from the street. Underneath the deck. Underneath the deck,
And the patio out in the middle?
correct.
What is the patio made of?
It's gonna be made of bluestone, so more of like a gray slate.
Okay, so we have, on page 81G, appropriate patio materials, set in sand, include flagstone, brick, and stone.
Okay,
And you.
Flagstone,
use
yeah.
Stone.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have any decks?
we do off the main floor in the back, which would actually go over the patio.
All right, what's the deck material?
We're planning on composite material, so like a Trex type of wood.
Okay, we have on page 81H, H2, composite deck material is appropriate for the flooring of the deck.
Okay,
And H3, for new construction, dock mason decks are appropriate if the design is incorporated into the design of the building, which it is.
okay.
Quick question, what would be the stipulation behind, the railing for that deck? I know there's a lot of different ways to do the railing on that. We plan on doing like a.
Painted wood, non-reflected or painted finished metal
Okay.
is what I'm reading.
Yeah.
I'm not just speaking, reading.
Yeah.
You can use composite, railing materials.
Okay, that's what we were thinking.
Mhm.
I know some people do the hog wire, that's probably not acceptable. There's also the cable type of railing that goes through that, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
No, but you can make it,
That is what I.
it says wood,
Yeah.
but,
Wood or composite's fine.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, but composite, that is acceptable to that. Do you want to determine that now, or do you just want to have that flexible according to?
We see it on the drawings right here. and
Yeah.
so it looks like a wooden or
It's gonna be a
composite.
composite, yeah.
Okay, all right, then I would include 81, 82, exterior lights, I'm sure we're gonna have some over your doors and those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think we'll have some sconces, in the front, maybe one sconce, and then on the side of the driveway, or the garage.
Well, the lights should be simple in
Yeah.
character, but they also have to be full cutoff.
Okay,
So sconces are sometimes hard,
yeah,
because what you really want is
More.
something where the bulb is not visible.
Yeah.
As you stand in the street,
okay,
I mean, of course, as you walk up to it, you're.
You'll see.
closer.
okay,
But that as you stand in the street, that your light is fully directed, so, I mean, a true full cutoff light has a down facing spectrum. There are a lot of people who sell full cutoff lights, that their light bulb is even with the light frame, which means the light's spreading this way.
yeah,
They're talking about spreading this
Okay.
way, so.
All exterior lighting.
Oh, it's, yes, and, you know, as you wander around town, you will see a lot that is not,
yeah,
but that's because this cannot be retroactive.
okay, fair,
And so, we're, yes, would you make that a note on that they've agreed that the lighting will be simple and the character and low in intensity. But we will put that as a note, because we're not asking you to give us a specific light.
Do you want to go back to page 81 for the fence? And what is the fence gonna be?
it's a cedar fence,
Okay,
on the side.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry,
4 foot or
what's that?
4 foot high, or
We're thinking about a 6-foot high fence.
like
so-
privacy?
Yeah, so more on the side, it would be probably more a privacy fence, but more of a dog run as well. So we'll get, dual utilization out of it.
Okay,
Where is?
Yeah, you'll see it on the landscaping
it's
plan.
on the
And
north
it's
side.
kind of the, orange here, right here, the fence.
Oh, it's just small.
Yep, just a small one on the side of it.
That's what I was guessing, was a,
Yep.
like a dog run.
Yeah, okay.
What'd you have for signings?
I guess, page 81, 2A, a fence should be simple in character.
And 3,
And 3, a fence for screening an animal enclosure may reach heights of 5 or 6 feet. It should be located behind the building. In such enclosures, is there gonna be a gate?
In the back, yes.
Okay, then, 4 also.
the gate should be appropriate to the fence.
Okay. And the plan is not to make it look like a gate, it's gonna look like it's a part of the fence, so.
It's weird how we get different versions.
What was the sighting on 82?
82 was just, simple lighting
Sarah.
So,
Low
It was
intensity.
A, it was 3A.
3A.
Okay.
and 3A.
And 3B, you're gonna prevent glare onto adjacent properties by using shielded or open light sources that direct light on the ground. If you go back to 81, you also have the materials, B. And the wood fence. Okay, we're on 83, which is the garage and the garage doors. And this one is always really hard because, ideally you prefer that the garage is not front at all, but on these lots, there's no way to put it anywhere else.
Right.
And there's really no access anywhere else.
Nope. But they've also pushed the garage back.
Right.
They push it back and it doesn't dominate with that door.
Right, so I think we can go with 4D, the percentage of the building from the lot to the garage is minimized, and it's D1, the garage should be designed to minimize the width of it. We haven't gotten into your materials yet, but. And the paving, E, the paving material, you're just doing a gravel.
A gravel driveway, correct.
Okay. We have no public commercial, we have no surface area, we have utilities. On page 86, A6, it's one of our favorites. Any utility device or service equipment should have a matte or non-reflective finish that includes all things that poke out of your house for whatever event or whatever, would be some form of matte color, a non-reflective color. So that the vents, especially in the roof, don't shine in the sun.
To non-reflective penetrations.
Yeah. Most freaking color is black these days. Do we have any satellite dishes?
No.
Satellite dishes. It's.
Wait, no.
Satellite dishes and solar devices. If you want a wind generator, it has to go in the backyard. So, all right, and we're, into our page 92 of the architectural character, at page 92, 1A, building design drawing fundamental characteristics of building in Georgetown, yes. And B, use ornamental details with constraint. Section 2, the building should have vertical emphasis, and this one is close, but I think it does because of the window proportions and the 812 roofs. What is your thought, folks?
I think we're fine.
I think there's a lot of.
Thanks, good.
Okay, so, on page 92, 2A. On page 93, windows, doors, and other openings. Do these plans reflect what the actual window lights will be?
In terms of,
In terms of number of lights in each window? Are we really, how the windows are divided?
Yeah, we're
Are they
on the
really
morning.
divided as these show you?
correct.
I wouldn't like to have to wash windows in this house.
We would have-
Yeah, that's a lot of divided lines.
That's an incredible number of divided lights.
You do have them different on the front than on
I do,
the other
yeah.
three sides, is that intentional?
That is intentional.
Okay. kind of a crescent, so.
How tall are the doors in the back?
The sliding door,
Yeah,
no more than 7 feet.
okay.
Is it really the owner's preference to have that many divided lights, or is that?
Or is that
No, that was actually our preference.
Bad choice. Not just kidding.
Actually, I thought the character of the house looks good. I do understand like the cleaning of the house, the windows and stuff like that.
We'll see what the window supplier says about that.
And the grids aren't in between the glass, they're,
That's not,
they're
no,
actually simulated,
correct.
okay.
So, whoa, so are these, what do you call them, mullions or what?
Buttons, molds,
So they're snap-ins,
Correct, yeah.
so they're only on the inside?
In terms of,
Where, I mean, you don't have a,
The framing isn't on the
it
outside,
wouldn't be on the outside.
it's either in between the glass.
Correct.
Or it's snapped in from the back, from the interior. So, which is it?
Yeah, I think it's coming in from the back, so it would be kind of smooth from the front when you're looking at the
I
house.
understand.
Correct.
So they're snap-ins, basically.
so at some point, you can take them out.
What's your concerns with, what are your thoughts?
Well, typically in Georgetown, you don't see this many divided lights.
Okay.
That's more of an East Coast type of deal to me anyway.
What if it was one continuous piece of glass with the dividers on the outside?
It's
So
on
he
the
still,
inside.
so he still gets his aesthetic, but is that your concern, it being all the glass being bisected?
No, normally, we have 2/2s or 1/1s,
More simple.
and they are, and they are individual panes.
Yeah,
They aren't a pane of glass that has just got a blue thing laid up against it.
Yeah,
They are individual panes. These are not individual panes.
okay.
Is that what you're telling us?
correct. They're not individual ones.
They're not individual panes.
you can get them with grids on the inside and the outside.
Yeah,
And then they do a separation bar inside, so it looks like a separate piece of glass, but it's not.
yeah.
So he
That,
gets,
that
his-
would be more
he gets his
appropriate.
aesthetic, but then it's not, it's kind of continuous.
Because if they're on the inside, how does it look from the street, which is, I think, what
Well, when it's on the inside,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, yeah.
Depends on if it's light inside and dark outside.
And if you have more of a preference in terms of how, I'm not
okay,
partial to, having it, having separate panes or whatever. I like the aesthetic of the windows that we had listed here. So if there's more of a preference that you could steer us towards, I'd make a
so I
note of
like,
that.
I like the front of the house.
Yeah.
You have them divided, the
Yeah.
front of the house,
Okay,
and I think the back ought to be similar. What you,
I think it's just way too busy
yeah,
for the area.
I can't think of when we got approved to have that many lights.
Lights, no,
Yeah.
so too busy in terms of too many lines and all that. We can simplify. I
Yeah, we
mean,
can-
yeah, absolutely. I could, if it's bringing the front of the house, so you have a little bit more complexity and character in the top part of the window, for the smaller ones, and maybe, the doors and the bigger windows, just have them plain, as well. I'm okay with that. So,
I would,
You probably like that, bro.
I would think the doors ought to be plain,
okay.
no lights in them. patio doors
On the back.
on the back side, and then to simplify the window patterns on the back also. I like the way the front looks as far as the windows are laid out, the patterns in the windows.
Okay.
The door too, I like the divided lights with the door.
And the garage door also.
What is
Probably more simplified.
What is the size of these windows?
Yeah.
Where have I not?
Yeah. I'm totally fine with that. And then you solve these. So one idea, right, so I can, so if you look at the back of the house, right, if we look at the front, I'm sorry, I can show this to everybody here. So the front, we have kind of the detail on the top, and on the bottom, it's less simple, right? If we could bring that, let me go back up, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. So here's the back, so back, a lot of detail. So what I was thinking is, you know, we could bring the same look of the windows in the front and the back, so meaning the top would be a little bit more detailed, and then have it simplified on the bottom. So, right, for the smaller windows, the bigger ones just have these completely, just glass.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Moving forward, folks, pardon my interruption, would it be possible for us to confirm that window schedule with you down the road before we order all of
Yes.
those windows?
Okay, that would be
great.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that sounds like.
Okay, perfect.
Idea. The shapes, I think the sizes, we're all good
Okay.
about the sizes and the directionality and, so yes, that sounds like an excellent idea. And what we would really like is the window schedule, so that,
Sure.
you know, windows,
Okay,
all the windows are, you know, this is a size C window and it's this dimension,
Right.
length and width, and it's this many lights.
You got it.
And as far as, well, we haven't got to the materials page.
Did you have anything on page 93?
But, yeah, A, they, window and door openings correspond with the overall directional emphasis of the building, which they do.
Okay. And what's the window materials? Are they vinyl and wood?
vinyl, yeah.
Yeah, we plan on doing vinyl.
Oh, you heard the buzz. We would suggest fiberglass instead of vinyl.
Fiberglass, okay.
We would suggest that for the endurance of it actually in these temperatures and.
I think you're gonna need to check into the divided lights too with vinyl. I
Okay,
think they're gonna tend to wanna have the bars inside the glass,
yeah,
and then that's not gonna be appropriate.
okay,
The bars inside the glass would not be appropriate.
Yeah.
And so I've built quite a bit of homes in just as cold as climate. I've never really heard of the fiberglass. Your reasoning for that being is because it endures better with these low temperatures. That's why you prefer to go that way.
That's what
We just don't like vinyl.
You just don't like the vinyl.
That's what happens is people come up and put vinyl windows in and they don't go
okay.
with the better quality ones.
What about the wood? Excuse me. What about wood?
Oh, we don't.
Wood's fine.
Yeah.
So we're fine.
So we could do fiberglass or wood.
yeah.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Metal clads, you know? Yeah, do a lot of metal clads up there.
Okay.
You have anything else on 93?
No,
Okay,
94,
Well, 93, you want the garage door problem,
garage door, if I could do that.
because that's C on 93,
See,
which is the garage door should be designed to minimize the apparent width of the opening.
I think this one.
And the materials are similar to the wall surface, which is wood.
I have one question I'd like to clarify in regards to, I know the front door needs to be under 7 feet, you have it right at 7 feet. For those two back patio doors, does those need to be a true 7 foot as well, for it being exterior door? Or can that be a standard RO height, i.e. bigger than 7 feet for those back patio doors? Not bigger than 7 feet, yeah, got it.
7 foot is the max finished.
Are we set on the garage door?
And it's a wood garage door, right?
Correct.
And we've confirmed that we're allowed to keep that one continuous door rather than two, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there should be some space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day 94.
94 is porches and, patios and balconies. We discussed the patio. And we have porches and we discussed the materials on the porch. But on page 94, 4A, the use of a porch is encouraged. A1, the size should relate to the overall size of the structure, which it does. And then A2, the porch and balcony or deck should use similar materials to that of the primary structure. And while we do, Trex can have a very similar look.
Yeah.
We understand the need to keep something that we can maintain.
Yeah.
Were there any questions on any of the back porches, or have we covered the porches?
Jump to the building too.
Yeah, okay, page 96. What is the siding, what are the siding materials and the roof materials?
The siding is planned on being the cementitious James Hardy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hardy board?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what kind of exposure you have on your hardy board?
What kind of exposure?
Yeah, it looks like a lap type of
Yeah,
hardy board.
it would be a lap.
And what
thickness.
width of lap is it?
Most from a 6 to 8 inch lap.
It has to be under 6.
It has to be under 6.
Well, we've been doing 5 and under 6.
And what, is there a minimum on that? Like 4 inch minimum? I know it wouldn't look better.
It says 4 to 5.
4 to 5, yeah.
Yeah, would on it, any,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to swallow that.
an 8,
And what is the trim gonna be?
The trim would be hardy as well, and, I think that's just 4 inch trim
Okay.
in regards to width,
second corner trim?
Yeah, corner trim, window trim.
Mm-hmm.
And then how thick?
I think that's 3/4
Is
inches
it
thick.
the 3/4
Yeah.
or the 5/4?
That's a good question, I think we would do 3/4 so that it kind of doesn't have any more reveal than what our hardy siding is.
I think it's gonna be the other way around. You're
Yeah, I
gonna
think
do
we would
5/4, so it covers up the reveal.
So it matches that outside lap on my, siding. Okay.
And sometimes it works a little better to go to a wider corner, right?
We did say 6 inch corners.
6-inch corner,
And
4
4
inches
inches.
around the window, it just looks more.
Gives that corner more, prominence.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like you're more strongly sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
You can tell those buildings are. Roof materials.
How about foundation walls?
No foundation walls.
Oh, foundational.
Yeah, we can have that ICF foundation on the bottom. And we would plan to do that. Fur that out and do some type of James Hardy on the bottom as well. Can't have any reflective metal on that, so it can't be any type of corrugated, right?
It can't be corrugated, but you could put a dull flat on there. I mean, how much you gonna have?
Well, on the bottom, we'll have the full 8 feet or close to it because it'll be, the slope going down. Yeah, we're not gonna work with that topography.
We got the slope and stuff.
Yeah. So we'd like to kind of break that up as best as we can between our hardy on our main floor and something a little bit different on our bottom.
Right.
Yeah, Steve does have some stone kind of shown
We
around.
could do a stone,
That's
that's
what we
everything,
have to
we can do stucco.
So some of the stones that we have in the entryway, right, so, or with the pillars that make it nice, we were trying to tie that into the
That
sign as
would
well.
look very
Yeah,
nice.
that was the best.
That would be the best.
Yeah.
And on page 96, E said, E says that a clear distinction between the foundation and wall materials should be present. So that there is a distinction, we don't want to simply run your siding all the way down into that. We want it to be a distinction between where the wall ends and where the foundation begins.
Great to know, yeah.
F,
Yeah, we have a gemstone, a northern slate, so that was in kind of the list of the materials that we wanted to wrap the pillars and then the foundation in. So, yeah, I think
And
it looks
just to
good.
clarify, that gemstone's a really amazing product that it is not a real stone, it's a faux stone. And so it's kind of a panel type system, but it does look like real stone.
Correct.
It's got a 25-year warranty on it. We found that it's much more sustainable and long-term, low maintenance than getting a mason in there and using the real stone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's a panel?
It's a panel, it's really interesting, but it looks really great.
Interesting, okay.
the building materials section says that we should try to see some sort of an example of that stone.
And I provided the link in the documentation, so that is available. I don't know if we could pull it up, if that would help.
I have several pictures from other
At
jobs.
some point in time, could you drop off?
Yes, just drop off.
Yeah, just drop off.
Upstairs and I'll look at it.
All right.
Yeah. We're supposed to see physical samples.
Yes.
Okay, and just because it's on the top of, my thoughts right now is there's that transition piece that goes, on the top of your concrete wall that protects the moisture running down your
Right.
James Hardy and into your basement floor.
Right.
That has to be a non-reflective metal as well, right?
Right.
So that have to be a black or a non-reflective metal.
Doesn't have to
You
be
can
black.
match your paint
You
color.
can match
Okay.
whatever you paint the house to. Just has to not glow in the dark
Or reflect the sun.
or reflect the sun, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but please make the note that you will provide just a little physical sample of the stone to be
We
used
have it
on.
for you.
We have,
Yeah, okay.
That we want that.
I have that note too.
All right, are we ready to go to the roof?
Sure.
Okay, what are the roof materials?
So we're kind of going back and forth. We have shingles built into the plan, but we also talked about a non-reflective metal roof. So, the last time we were here. So right now, we're leaning towards the shingle roof, just typical roof. But I kind of like the style of, some of the metal roofs as well, so.
If you do metal, it says it's supposed to be earth tones.
It's gotta be what?
Earth
Third
tones,
tones, yeah.
whatever you consider an earth tone.
And on shingles, it's gotta be a 50-year.
50-year, okay.
I believe it'd be the owner preference to do the metal. We're just a little concerned in regards to how to make that non-reflective or what that really entails, Well, we do a lot, I've done a lot of standing seam metal roofs. The black, the earth tone, the copper, the coffee color, all darker colors. But, when the sun's at the peak of the day,
We're gonna get a little
shining down,
reflection.
You're gonna get some
you're gonna get a little reflection.
The main point of this is not silver.
No.
Yeah.
Silver, white.
Yeah.
something
No,
like
I would
that.
not want that.
There are a few colors that come
I think
in a
a
matte
copy
finish
is-
too.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me, say that again?
There are a few colors that do come in a matte finish.
The matte, yeah, so it
Yeah.
doesn't kind of have that gloss to it.
Yeah.
And the gloss is what makes it kind of reflective,
Right.
I think a copper or a coffee brown would have a great aesthetic to what we're trying to accomplish in regards to your earth tones and what you've kind of, and that's to your own preference. Correct.
There is on our page 97, there a whole section on metal sheeting and standing seam roofs, which I'm sure that you have
I
seen
have that,
out
yeah.
of these guidelines. And so, I think we would need to know what decision you have made on the roof.
Okay,
But yes, it can be that metal roof, but we really do want to assure that we have a matte
okay,
finish and not glossy finish, and that it is non-reflective. There's also, a bunch about, the edges, being bent properly.
I think for now, based on how we have the plans, I'd like to, base the decision on the shingles that we have. And, but if we decide to go down the path of putting on a metal roof, we'd probably run that by you and bring in a sample.
Right, yes, that would
So,
be fine.
okay,
I've seen 99% of that block.
okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
easy enough. And gutters, you need gutters?
yes,
Well, as long as they match, painted to match the structure.
correct, yeah.
Gutters,
They'll blend in, yeah.
so they.
You said that's a 50-year shingle?
What's
Yes,
that?
a 50-year.
Yeah, because of the wind load up here, or lifetime.
Yeah.
So on page 97, that was,
A1 and C for gutters.
thanks.
I just need those.
So the gutters would essentially need to match that fascia color, or the color of that fascia
Yes.
board is.
Yes.
Anybody else got anything?
No, we're at the end of
All right.
Is there a front porch railing?
There is, yeah.
Is it the same as the back?
That's what we're planning on, yeah.
Okay. Does it
We're
look?
trying to get the front, the railing, the fence, and the back to kind of all match. Look the
Just
same.
asking,
Yeah.
because the elevation looks different.
The last question I have, folks, would just be skip over the retaining wall question. We don't plan on having anything at the moment. Me and Steve are really not on the same page about a lot with this project. But in regards to our excavation team, just wanted to make sure that there's strict guidelines on no retaining walls. You need to know where the retaining walls are.
Anything over 4 foot, you have to have engineered.
Yeah, that's something we're kind of aware about. I don't think we'd ever need anything over 4 feet, but the materials we like to do on that's like a natural river rock material.
You'd have to bring that in.
You would have to, you over 18 inches and height.
As you're digging out, you might collect your stones that you're digging
Yeah.
out and stack them up and use that as a dry stack.
We've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That's a good use of the material.
So we could do that.
Yes, you could.
Okay. Yeah. That was my last question.
Any changes, you should file an amendment and
Okay,
come back to
we'll
us.
do that.
So where are we in what we figured out is,
We're ready for a motion.
yes, but we have to know what we are adding to the motion.
The only thing I really have is sample of stone. Trees to remain on the back side of the lot.
Window update at some point.
We will probably bring the window schedule to make sure you are okay, have that.
Okay.
Rear doors are 7 feet high. If you want to put that on there, but that'd be part of the window door schedule.
Correct, yep,
Right.
absolutely.
I'll put window on the door.
I would move to approve the application from Steve. Let's see, last name.
My hand, I would say my hand without the D.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm thinking.
I get it all, D hand, hand.
For a new residence, at, what did we have, Griffith Street? With the, as presented, with the conditions that a sample of the stone be provided, that it be noted that the vegetation, the plantings are to stay at the rear of the property, and a window schedule will be provided. And yes, all right, that's my motion.
Okay, somebody want to second that?
I'll make this second.
Okay, any public comment? All right. How about we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
And
Thank you all.
things like the roof and those kinds of things, yeah, if you want to change. the
Sure,
mind,
we bring that here, I wanna make sure.
But this covers.
Okay.
Any other?
Thank you for walking us through this.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, it's exciting. Maybe we can start, digging out and maybe in the spring, we'll see how,
Ah, you can build during the winter
yeah,
out here.
get some heaters and stuff.
That's not frozen.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The ground's not frozen. You can
As
pour
long as the
concrete
ground's
till
not
it gets very. Gut it out, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you all. I
Thanks.
appreciate your time. Thank you.
This is good.
Yeah, I know it's been a journey, so I was hoping, 3 times the charm, and it seems like that was the case.
That worked.
But you have been very, very welcome.
Yeah, that's been good.
And then, how does the process work? Do I get an official COA via
Yes, you
like an
do.
email or something like that, and then I can move on with the building department?
That's correct. The
Okay.
COA would be issued out by the clerk downstairs.
Okay.
And then you submit, as you would any place, regular, a full set of construction drawings in
Yeah.
order to, you'll submit them here and they will be sent to our building.
Okay, sounds great.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Okay, where are we in demolition and neglect?
I can speak to 771 Tahoe's.
Oh, please,
Oh, no, I can't.
no, you just speak to Diane.
Oh, that's my own speak to 771.
Yeah, that's gonna be,
I have no idea.
Okay.
he's done a couple of little things, but he hasn't gotten it done.
I see he's got ladders and stuff pinned up to the sides and he's getting ready to use
So
it.
we got a couple of the e-ports that were sort of tacked back up, but it really isn't done. So, what is next step?
So should we have Bob walk and do an inspection?
See, he gets along with Bob, that'd be a good idea.
Bob was his next door neighbor, you put Bob in a very different
Okay,
spot, so
well-
could we please have somebody else?
Yeah, somebody else maybe kind of do an inspection showing, okay, you notice X, but Y still needs to be done. Can we have somebody do that?
I think Bob would be really good. He's not here, so.
Because if I can get that, then we can do a follow-up letter.
His co-chair, I'm saying that's it, wow.
Um,
How about crazy, what about crazy horse?
Well, I think you said Bob's not gonna like it. Should we have somebody else do it here?
He'll love it.
Okay. You are not going to get anywhere close to this, I can deal with this. Sean, can you and I walk through this?
Sure.
All right,
Okay.
Sean and I will walk through this, I'm not gonna stick that one.
I'd love to.
I can roll. Okay, how about the crazy horse?
So the crazy horse, I finally got in touch with him. We spoke on the phone and he had communicated to me that his intention is to renew his business license. But hold on. Because he intends to use the building as his personal business office in order to run his other properties from. And he also, hold on, and also he would be very much interested if he found a tenant to use as a retail space or something. I asked him just to confirm that he was not using it as storage, because there's a sign on the outside still that market storage. He said, no, he's not marketing for storage. And he forgot that there's a sign outside. So I said, please remove that sign. So he said, if you can send me the application, I will go ahead and pay my fee in order to get my business license reestablished. So I said, well, let me review it more, because I feel like there's a little bit more to the story. And so I looked at the property file and saw that there was a stop work order from Safe Built years ago, condemned, not to have things inside, no operations. So then I called Safe Built to confirm that is the case. So they said that they would have to do a new inspection and to see what he's done, what still needs done, and kind of have a plan forward before they would ever authorize any business license in the building.
And that would include fire inspection also, since there's people gonna be in the building.
Yes. So, it all kind of started because I walked over there and heard contractors working. And, I didn't wanna, there's no permit posted. I didn't wanna walk in because I didn't wanna be accused of trespassing, because he had mentioned that we didn't have any authorization to be on this property. So that's when I wrote him a letter and said, please contact me. And then when I asked him about it, he said, those are not contractors doing working. There are people there were contractors that he has for a different project. They were just bringing materials over or taking materials out for another project, which
Do we have,
I don't believe.
do we have the right to do a fire inspection? In a building that's considered, yes.
I'd have to defer to state though.
Did he get a permit for the roof?
No.
Then he did? Did you see the roof?
No,
He's
we have,
doing, he's doing.
we have no,
Is it
I'm
your
not
roof
sure
now?
that Safeco
It
gets
looks like it's
design
been
right.
done.
He's
It's
been
all,
painting it white and then he's doing some kind
it's all
of.
black.
no, but if he doesn't change
Or
use,
something. Is that
then
possible?
that would trigger that.
Yeah.
I would have to get the fire marshal, I'd have to get Ryan, I'd have to get Safeco over there to do an inspection. So changing use would trigger that.
Absolutely.
So that's the only thing I can think is to get Safeco, but the thing is, he has to apply for a change of use if he wants to do a new, and I don't suspect he wants
He's
to.
not gonna do it. He's not gonna do anything.
Okay, so that's the update on that, all right?
So what do we do when he does nothing? When he doesn't even apply for the building permit, he doesn't do anything. You don't need to try to answer
Yeah,
that.
I don't know how to answer that question. I've
Yeah,
not done the
I don't know how
research.
to answer that question either.
Because I know the police were involved at one point. There's lots of record on this place.
Yep,
I've seen administrators' letters on this place. There's a lot of history.
yeah,
I think what I would do is I will defer to Jerry and get direction.
yes, and can we ask Jerry at this point, because we're getting advanced?
Well, the whole thing is, as long as he's maintaining it outside and it's not a public hazard, there isn't a whole lot we can do. I mean, if he's taking down his signs, what we've asked him to do.
Well, he's covered one side, the other two sides are still up. But what he's told me is the Crazy Horse sign is just the name of his building. Like the Trump Tower. That's what he said.
Yeah, good point.
He actually used that terminology.
The sign's appropriate.
It's almost the same as the Trump Tower.
It's an appropriate name for the building.
Can we move on?
Yes.
How about,
Please ask Jerry.
Kowski's, I'm kind of in charge of doing that, and I just haven't had time to start, but it will happen. Hopefully, before the first year, at least get started, so people can see some progress. It's in the work, I just gotta have time.
What are you doing, just covering up the side where the tie back's going?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna tear that siding off and redo it,
Okay,
And fix the porch.
and fix the porch.
okay.
And wall.
We're trying to get somebody to fix the wall,
Oh, yeah, it's that wall.
but
Why don't you just renovate the whole place?
I'd like to, anyway. Okay, what about the house up there?
Foley House, they have an estimate of doing repair, not repair, doing a complete restoration of that porch. But with the caveat, if they simply wanted the porch repaired, it would be considerably less money than doing a complete real restoration of the porch. And so that the History Colorado is sitting on that estimate at the moment, and I don't know what the decision is, but I will follow up on the Foley House.
Okay,
The Foley House has just an amazing history, that's good. We gotta figure out how to actually use the Foley House for something.
Can I add one to track two?
sure.
Cindy's aware of this, but the rock fall mitigation evaluation for Loop Drive, since it's going up to the Foley House. The Board of Selectmen has approved the quote from Howard Hume,
Yeah, HDR.
in order to do it, and, History Colorado has agreed to pay half of it. And so, that approval was submitted and they're gonna formulate, they sent a contract to me, which I will sign and submit it back to them.
Except that History Colorado wants to pay direct.
Correct, yeah,
So-
which is a little different, however, that's fine.
That's fine.
It's actually better for us for our finances.
Yeah, they wanna check the
Yeah.
contract also, anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, so I will do that on Monday to make sure, and I had Jerry Dahl to look over the contract, he made some suggestions that he wants some amendments to the contract. I've not received that back, but whenever I receive that back, I'll make sure that the cost is 50%, so that we're both looking at it in the contract.
Are they just removing loose rocks?
No, they're just gonna evaluate it.
Oh, it's just evaluation?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because when they came up and cited it out and said, we really should make a plan, because to just sort of throw a crew at it, it's,
That's all right,
That's
that's what was gonna actually happen, so this is just evaluation.
yeah, this
They will
is
spell out
exactly
mitigation
what needs to
steps.
happen.
Yeah,
Got it.
it won't be part of it.
Which is,
And cost estimates too, is what they said.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's one of those kind of things, we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. But now that we're aware of it and something happens, we knew that something would happen, we didn't do anything.
True.
So it's like, I don't wanna know. What did you tell me? So,
okay, so
Right.
I would like to bring up very quickly, if we're done with those, the project that Keisha is starting.
Okay.
And Keisha, I don't know whether we have,
I had it on my phone.
yeah, but we need hard copies so that they can look at. The idea is to create a tracking sheet, and what I wanna make sure is that all of you have some input of the steps because I have sort of laid it out from, from what happens when the application comes here, what conditions we put on it, what happens to the next step of the review before it goes out to the building department, what happens, after that. So actually, there are a whole bunch of items on this tracking sheet. So if we can even send it out by email, because we don't meet for another month. If we can send that out by email, it would be appreciated. So take a look at the list of items and how it would step through tracking and all applications. Years back, we did have tracking, a physical tracking sheet, and then Keisha quite rightly wants to do it on Google Drive, but I think we have to know that all the steps are there. So when you receive this list, please take a look at it and say, okay, because we start with the fact that we should have a real application complete. We should be getting complete applications, and quite often we have to ask for extra things. And so the first step is to get a complete application. The second step is to have the zoning review. And then if you've got a whole house, the third step is to have a utilities review. Because more than once we've approved a house that comes along, we can't put a sewer, that's, So all of those things should happen before we even see it. And then you've got us, and then you've got the conditions we put on, and then you've got when the building plans come in to check it, that it has our conditions on it, and that it is the same thing that we looked at. And
that never happened.
no, it never happened. And then we get the as it's constructed, so if we actually really start tracking things, I think it will, because we have essentially asked, Safebuilt, and they truly don't want to be involved in our process at all, so we have to keep track of our own process.
Okay.
So you forwarded the Google Drive link, but I don't have access to that, so are you gonna do a PDF or?
I gave you access.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have it this morning.
So do I need to respond to that to get access?
Yeah, will you do me too?
Yeah, yeah. If any of you try to open it and click request access, I can do that right now. Otherwise, I'll just email it to you, like I'll add your emails to the
Okay,
access.
cool.
Somebody requested it this morning and I approved them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't request, I just hit it, it said denied, so I'm like, whatever.
Okay.
It might have been me, I think I hit it, but then I just.
Okay, then it's you.
Yeah, but everybody doesn't operate that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Right.
I don't,
I gave you access in the beginning, that's why, so,
yeah, but I don't pull up Google Drive ever, so,
oh, gotcha, you want me to print it for you?
yeah, I mean, it's, every once in a while, people send me stuff that I have to go out and get. So I do go out and get it, but, you know, that's not, I know it's the whole practice of your world, but it's not. the practice of ours.
And hit print.
Okay,
Also, Jen was asking for some guidance. I reviewed the building permit application for 1114 Griffith Street.
mhm.
Everything looked good, except we don't have a landscaping plan that we requested. So should she request it?
Yes.
From her?
Absolutely.
Yes, that's, and that's,
Everything else matched, it looked like it matched what we requested.
but in the future, you see, that's going to be Kasia's job, that if something is missing, she's gonna need to get it.
I'll yell at people for you.
Well, the people have been, you know, we had no landscape or drainage from those folks, and it was just a protocol, and most of the time, it's not, you know.
I was kidding, I won't actually yell at them unless they deserve it, so.
Exactly.
Second time.
Yeah.
We can send you to the guy at the crazy house, huh?
Oh, and I noticed there's one demolition by North Black, but I can't remember the address. It's on 4th Street, the barn by the Hamel House.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes,
Oh, the
the
barn.
barn.
The barn, it fell off of the list.
It fell off of the list.
Okay, I'll get it back on, but is it,
It's Fourth Street.
Yeah,
I don't,
4th Street Barn?
4th Street barn.
And it used to be-
I haven't really looked at it for a while.
It's still got a lot of holes in the roof.
No, Rock Shop guy.
yeah,
It used to be,
well, it's his ex-wife's now.
Okay,
It's
the Excel update.
It's got holes in the roof.
What
I
about
wouldn't get
that?
on it to put in the roof on
I'm running out of
it. Fall
time.
over.
Yeah, me too. Excel update is
704.
that we are,
It's 704.
continuing
You're right.
to pursue a museum and
7044? Thank you.
and maybe we'll get closer. Why is 1036 Rose Street on this?
That's
Is that the house?
the luggage building, right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, that's,
Kevin Buckley?
yeah, that's that part.
It looks terrible.
Bob talked
It
to
really
him or
looks
something.
terrible.
Yeah, we're looking better down there.
The old luggage.
I gave them all of the inspection
Never
from
really
Bob's,
looked at it.
Bob's inspection. and gave-
So
brick
somebody followed up.
Building and
See
a
what
garage.
exactly happened. Why are we on 312 and 314 Taos? Oh, that's
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 the
the-
wall,
steps.
steps.
And he stood up and
Encroachment
said
license.
he was going, has the encroachment license come to the board?
It's going on next Thursday. It's going, well, I mean, it's going to the planning commission for a recommendation, then it'll go to the board of selectmen.
Okay, but it's actually moving?
Yeah, it's in the packet.
Okay,
We have an
That would be
agenda. I did that action.
that
item
would be
today.
nice if it's actually moving all these months there. And Big Hard Crossing, maybe he is actually moving his
Dirt.
dirt pile because we got out there with Excel and everybody and said, you know.
Gotta move it.
Where's it moving it to?
He's just moving it 10 feet back, because we need that space for the right of way, that's where the sidewalks can go. But Excel was potentially gonna bury their line, the overhead lines, so they're gonna bury all the power pole lines now.
cool.
Not all of them down the street. You have to get by the 3 apartment buildings, but from there
Yeah,
down to, even if we get half of them, we
yeah.
take whatever.
The ones that are closest to the road, that's like a foot and a half from the road, those are the ones we're focusing on.
And they're gonna bury them on the far side.
Yeah,
because
so-
It just became impossible.
But I didn't wanna tell Kurt Sukup that.
No, I know.
Once they said they're gonna move it to the other side of the road, it's like, you still need to move, bro.
Yeah.
Cause we really need to move the fence back, and we need to create a ditch in the meantime for drainage, because it's piling up on the road, and then we're getting all these potholes in Argentine. So we have a real reason, to, hazard reason to address the hazard.
That's good.
So let's leave all the items to track, still tracking.
All right.
Minutes.
Yeah, does anybody have any corrections or additions?
I didn't see anything.
I didn't see these, I didn't read them.
I read them, but
I put cookies in there.
I'm not the best with spelling with all that, so. I didn't see anything.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't either.
I was on that thing.
So the only one who's here, the president
me.
made this motion because.
Okay, I'll motion that the meeting minutes are acceptable, is that a motion?
And I was second it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Right.
meeting is adjourned.
Well,
That's it.
Hey, I will jump